Hi everyone, it's Jason here. Today we're going to be talking about our auto scheduling feature. So before you watch this tutorial, I highly recommend that you watch our tutorial on our scheduler tool as well as the calendar tool. That tutorial is tutorial number 22. So to start, we'll ask the question, what is the auto scheduler? The auto scheduler is a system that we've built that will automatically schedule jobs to the most appropriate team or group of employees based on your profile settings, requirements of a given job, and the availability of your team members. So with auto scheduling enabled, appointments can be auto scheduled when a client books online, when a quote is approved, when you create an appointment, or when you edit an appointment. Like the name implies, auto scheduling happens automatically and it happens seconds after an appointment has been set. So the question is, what factors does the auto scheduler take into account? Let's go through them real quick. It takes into account employees' regular working hours, the ranking of your teams, the number of employees required for the job, the employees that are required for unscheduled jobs, manually created events that should not be booked over, for example, vacation. It considers complex shifts, conflicting events, and it also considers whether or not the team, employees on that team, and the job itself allow for auto scheduling. Auto scheduling can be disabled at all of those levels. Finally, the auto scheduler considers team preference by job. So the benefit of auto scheduling is that it ensures that employees are never double booked and that the highest performing teams are always given priority when assignment happens. The auto scheduling of jobs seconds after they've been booked means that employees can also see their jobs in their own schedule more quickly than they otherwise would be able to. Most importantly, this feature will reduce the amount of time that you have to spend scheduling. So let's take a look at a couple of the key settings that control auto scheduling. We'll go into our website dropdown and click Website Setup. From here, we'll select Booking Form Settings from the dropdown. And what we're going to do is scroll down a bit and we'll go to the section titled Auto Scheduling. So at the top here, this first setting is a master switch that enables or disables auto scheduling. We'll leave this enabled because the purpose of this video is to demonstrate auto scheduling, how it works and how it's set up. So for this next setting, only entire team, you can get information on what the setting does by clicking this question mark. I'm actually going to explain this setting with a bit of an example. So when you create an appointment for a customer and you have auto scheduling enabled, the auto scheduler will assign the job to the most appropriate team that is available during the appointment. And so in this case, let's say that we've got team A. It's 3 workers in size, but one of these workers is already assigned to another job. So the way the auto scheduler works is that it will assign this job to the remaining, if we were to book an appointment for 2 p.m., it would assign this job to the remaining employees on team A. So it would assign it to Frank and Jessica. Now, if we're running jobs that generally need all team members to be available for that job, what we can do is enable the only entire team switch. And if we were to do that, which we have, we'll go back to our scheduler and we'll assume that we've booked an appointment for 2 p.m. for April 4th. It doesn't appear in the calendar yet. Let's just assume that it's been booked. And with those settings in place, what the auto scheduler will do is first look at team A, because that is our highest priority or highest ranked team. It'll look at team A and it'll say, are all employees available during this 2 p.m. slot? It'll see that Sam is booked up. And so as a result, it will not attempt to auto schedule the job to team A. It'll move over to the clean team, which is our next team in priority sequence. It'll see that everyone on that team has been booked. Finally, it'll go to team J. It'll see that everyone on the team is available for 2 p.m. and so it will auto schedule the job to the J team. So now that we've enabled auto scheduling at the global level, let's see how the other levels of auto scheduling can be assigned. So we'll go into our team settings. We'll select the A team, for example, and we see that there's a switch on the A team. Maybe it's the case that we want some teams to be auto-scheduled to jobs, but not others. We can control that within the team settings. In our case, we do want the A team to be auto-scheduled, so we'll ensure that the switch is selected. We can also control whether or not specific employees are auto-scheduled to a job. So if we go into our employees section, we can select Bill, for example, and let's say for whatever reason, we don't want Bill to be automatically assigned to jobs. We want to be in full control and we want to be the one who actually assigns jobs to Bill. What we could do is we could unselect this switch if we were so inclined. We'll actually leave this selected for now because we do want Bill to be auto-scheduled. And lastly, we can also prevent a particular appointment from being auto-scheduled. So what we'll do is we'll actually create an appointment to show you this. We'll go into invoicing, create invoice. We'll create an appointment for Jake. Click new invoice. Say home cleaning for $200. We'll select the frequency as 1 time and we'll click save. So what we're going to do in this case, we'll say this appointment's going to be 1 hour in duration. We're actually going to schedule this appointment to that 2 p.m. slot on April 4th that we were talking through just a moment ago. So select 2 p.m. And down here you see we have some auto scheduling settings. So we can choose to not auto schedule the job. In this case, we do want it to be auto-scheduled. We can also assign a preferred team. So let's say, for example, every one of our teams was fully available during this time slot, but the clean team has had experience with this customer and we know the customer's happy with them. We can select the clean team and it would be them who gets priority when the auto-scheduling runs over this job. In our case, we're just going to leave this blank. We're going to have the auto-scheduler assign this team to the most or assign this job rather to the most appropriate team based on the settings that we have in place. So we'll click save. Lastly, we'll just indicate that they'll pay with a credit card once the job is complete. And there we go, the auto scheduler has run and it has assigned Team J as expected. All right, so what we'll cover next is a help article that we've put together that I think might answer some questions that you have. All right, so the first question that this article answers is which employees are eligible for auto scheduling? The answer to that is only employees who are assigned to a team. Teams can be as small as 1 employee or as large as 10. Next question that we'll cover is how can I get the best performance out of the auto scheduler? So what we'll say to that is that unscheduled jobs that sit unscheduled for long periods of time can impact your overall scheduling effort when the auto scheduler is enabled. And to get the best performance out of the auto scheduler and to save the most time, when there are certain jobs that cannot be auto scheduled, you'll want to manually schedule these as soon as you can. And you'll find out what those are just by going to the dashboard and clicking on the jobs tab. You'll see which jobs are unscheduled. So if you create an appointment and find that that appointment isn't being auto scheduled, there could be a few reasons for this. The appointment might be for today or in the past. In that case, the auto scheduler will not run over that job. The auto scheduler will only run over those appointments that start in the future, essentially. The second reason why you might be seeing this is because the appointment falls outside of your team's regular working hours. So if your job is not being scheduled, you'll want to compare the start and end time of that job to your team's regular working hours to see if it falls outside of those. A third reason for why auto scheduling might not be working, it could be disabled at the global team, employee, or appointment level. Lastly, auto scheduling may not be working because maybe all teams have at least one other event that conflicts with the appointment, in which case the auto scheduler won't automatically schedule that job. All right, so next thing we'll cover, or next question we'll cover actually, is if we've had auto scheduling disabled and then if we enable it, the question is, will all unscheduled jobs then be auto scheduled? The answer to that is no. Auto scheduling will only work on new appointments and when you make edits to existing appointments. Lastly, the question is, if I change the weekly schedule of one of my teams, will jobs be rescheduled by the auto scheduler based on their new schedule? And the answer to that question is no, they will not. It's impossible for the auto scheduler to know which appointments should be rescheduled and which should stay the same, even though they may mean overtime for the employee. So rather than the auto scheduler making assumptions and causing frustration for you, your team, and your customers, when you change the regular working hours of a team, you'll need to go into each of those teams and manually update their job assignments. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you do have any questions on the auto scheduler, feel free to reach out to us, submit a ticket, or contact us using the information on our Contact Us page. Thank you very much. Bye.